Hello and welcome. You're watching Cricbuzz Live, and it has been done. Kolkata has won a game, and they've won it pretty big, actually. They won it by 52 runs. Mumbai completely imploding, completely and totally imploding, self-combusting. The train itself coming off the tracks. That's right. Nobody had to push it. Nobody had to do anything. They just kind of fell over. There was a bit, of course, you have to say, by the Knight Riders bowlers. Yeah, they didn't have a big target, but they just kept going. Good changes by Shreyas Iyer. Some run out, some good catches, just lots of action. At the end of which, Mumbai is on the losing end, and Knight Riders are on the winning one. This is Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur, with me Harsha Bhogle and Simon Doull. Harsha, this is this really from Mumbai towards the end, right? The way they were positioned, they've got a couple of the big players. They kind of just imploded, didn't they?
It was a very loud implosion. You normally use the word for an explosion, but this was a very loud implosion. I mean, 100 for 4 and 20 balls later, they're finished. And in those 20 balls, Pollard has hit a couple of big ones. I mean, it was when things go wrong. You know, there is this tug of war analogy. When that big fellow at the back starts to move a little bit, then everyone gets dragged forward. It was that kind of day. So, I mean, it must, if you're a Mumbai Indians fan, it was so disappointing. If you're a KKR fan, it was wow, because they did so many things right. They finally went with Cummins and Southee. They used Russell up front rather than only use him as a death bowler. They kept the spinners back for Tim David and Kieron Pollard. I thought they made the most of a total that probably was a little under par. And look, that's what I'm telling you. Once Ishan Kishan goes out, actually include Ishan Kishan and see who has scored at a strike rate of over 100 for a start and who's got into double figures. Mumbai Indians in 2020, 2019, their glory years, they were a batting juggernaut. They were a batting powerhouse. Other teams imploded watching them bat. And they'll be very, very disappointing for them to see this performance.
I'll tell you what's happened. They were 83 for 3. Then they lost Tim David. That was the 4th wicket. In 30 runs, they've lost 7 wickets. I mean, the bowling was good, Dooley, but not that good. I mean, Mumbai's going to take...
Yeah. Look, I mean, it was a pretty abysmal batting performance, wasn't it? The bowling was good. I thought Kolkata had one of their better nights. They fought, they fought their way, I suppose, to that score in the end, which we thought if they picked up a couple of early wickets, then allowed the spinners to get into the game through the middle, they were a chance. That's what we talked about at the halfway stage. But it shouldn't have been that easy for them in the end. But Mumbai just, barring one or two performances, they've looked ordinary, haven't they? They're missing their core. They haven't quite, they've certainly, Pollard is just not himself. And they're missing their core of players. They're missing those guys that won them games. And they're missing key performances from big guns. But credit to Kolkata, I think. Finally, we saw, and we've been calling for it for a while, try and find a way to get Cummins and Southee into the side. Correct. They've found a way to get Cummins and Southee into the side, which has made their bowling just look a little bit better. I mean, I think Tim Southee's had a pretty good time of it since he's come into the side. He's fetched maybe once or twice in, I think, 7 games now. But again, tonight, 3 overs, 1 for 10. He's been quite steady up front for them. He's regularly picked up 1 wicket, if not more. Pat Cummins is at his best night with the ball, which is good to see from a Kolkata point of view. And they used Russell properly and got Narayan and Chakravarti through the middle rather than up front when the ball was just starting to grip a little bit. And Chakravarti's return. So look at the 2 guys that have the 3 guys that have returned from the trenches, let's say. Cummins, Chakravarti, Venkatesh Iyer.
Yep.
Correct. The 3 big names that we thought were just destined to sit on the bench for the rest of the tournament because they'd been so poor. They've come in from the dark and they've found the light, and maybe someone's hit the power switch. Gee, like at your place.
That's true. But that makes it makes you wonder, though, Harsha, that these players, like, when do you... So here we're looking at Pollard, who's gone now 11 games, right? And he can't... he can't buy a well-timed shot for love or money, right? And then you have, on the other side, you have, 3 of their top guns and they played them and then dropped them after what is it, 6 or 7. Cummins didn't even get those many games, right? Because Cummins came in late, and then he's made to sit out. And you think that's what you're wondering. You're wondering, one, when we spoke about it in the pre-show, one team is just taking too long to make a harsh decision, and the other one kind of just jumped the gun.
Look, if they're willing to play Russell 6, Sunil Narayan 7, and Cummins 8, then they can play this kind of bowling lineup throughout. And I think they're perfectly entitled to play, because Cummins, I mean, today he came in at the end, got a short ball. But if Cummins goes in the 14th, 15th over, he's still good enough to bat. Russell can bat from there on. And then Sunil Narayan's that floater. They can actually play that side. And I'm trying to see if they can even get Umesh Yadav in that side. So you play Cummins, Southee, Russell, and Umesh, and the two spinners. If you're willing to play Russell at 6, that just leaves a question of the keeper. So now I'm trying to fill a suitcase with one shirt too many.
Yeah,
but
the zip is not quite closing, Harsh. And,
no.
and I just think what happens is it falls off the carousel.
Okay. I've given you an intro. I know you're going to,
and it just
filibuster. I just keep talking over you because I know you're not good.
And the pickle. The pickle, yeah? The oil of the pickle is all over the rest of the clothes. So we're in trouble. We're in real trouble here.
If one of those first 5 could keep, then they would have had the perfect, absolutely perfect team.
But well, this team has managed to get the 2 points today. Is that still going to be good enough? They were at number 9, right? But, the fact is that the Knight Riders fans are still super excited and saying, oh, maybe we can qualify. To them, I say, calm down. Just relax. Yes, they've got the 2 points today. Just relax. But for Mumbai fans, they're just thinking, can this season get any worse? It's not about losing games, Harsha. It's just about how you lose them.
Yes, I agree.
Right? This one's a bitter pill to swallow. I mean, both against the Knight Riders. And remember, the Knight Riders are... Mumbai always had their number, right? All through these seasons, they had their number. This was a big game. They were a big thorn in KKR's side. And KKR's got some solid revenge this season.
They have, and KKR never beat Mumbai in Mumbai. As a very excited KKR fan kept sending me voice notes throughout. But the only time that KKR repeated Mumbai in Mumbai was in 2012, when in that Shah Rukh Khan affair. Otherwise, they have never beaten Mumbai in Mumbai. I can understand the KKR fans getting very excited because their matchup against Mumbai in Mumbai has been terrible in the past. But you're absolutely right. You look down that points table now, and I think one thing that's sure now is, almost sure, is that Mumbai will finish number 10. And for a proud side with a record like that, it's a very bitter pill to swallow. It's like, no, I won't say that because I'll get angry. It's like United with Ronaldo losing 0-4 to some other side the other day. You can't do that. You're not supposed to do that. Yeah. So Mumbai coming down to number 10 will hurt enormously, and I won't be surprised at all if they're relooking completely in a mini auction next year. There's not a lot of correction that you can do, but they will have to look at it, because this game, Jasprit Bumrah had dragged them back into a position from which they should have won.
True.
And they used what Bumrah did against Mumbai. And one of the things we are learning now is a lot of the T20 batsmen do not like the bouncer. Yep. 9 wickets have fallen to the bouncer. 9 wickets to the bouncer.
Yeah. It reminds me of when in college, all us boys used to go to a nightclub and the bouncer used to get us all. Yeah. That's what's happened.
Okay, 9 wickets to bumpers. 9 wickets to bumpers.
Short balls. Something. Anything different. But yeah, you're right. But there was some really good bowling and some good targeted short balls as well. I think that's one of the key things. Especially from Bumrah in that first innings, just targeting that shoulder. That what you're looking for from a bouncer point of view is the batsman's front shoulder and getting underneath that sort of blind spot area into the helmet. So they've got to go one way or the other. Or if they're right-hander, obviously you're targeting the left shoulder. So Bumrah bowled a couple of beauties. I think, was it the Ishan Kishan? The one to the left-hander. What's his name? Nitish Rana was an absolute stormer, and the one to around the wicket to Sunil Narayan were the 2 key ones for mine that I thought were absolutely brilliant from Bumrah's point of view. But even the ones that Cummins was trying to bowl towards the back end tonight as well. So there's been some good use of the short ball. And I guess that's probably one of the things I've taken from the tournament. Those who've played it better. And from an Indian point of view, I'm trying to think of those young players, and Ruturaj Gaikwad, I think, plays it as well as any at the moment. I've been really disappointed with Shreyas Iyer. He has been found wanting against the short ball. And for a team that is now looking, and we're not selecting an Indian team from IPL form, but there's always going to be talk around it. You know, for a team that is going to Australia later in the year on what will be some reasonably hard, fast, bouncy surfaces playing a T20 World Cup, a lot of bowlers around the world will be watching some of these guys now and saying, wow, you know, there's a couple of these lads that might be coming our way that do not play the short ball well at all. Rohit Sharma, I still think will play it as well as anyone because he just does. KL plays it very well. I think Surya plays it pretty well. But you know, there's a couple of guys that, you know, that were probably thought about going on that plane that have not been very comfortable, dare I say it.
You were saying, Harsha, because Rishabh's again a little susceptible to the short ball. Shreyas has shown he's susceptible.
Look, I don't have enough data points to arrive at this conclusion, but I wonder if Rishabh's a little weighed by captaincy and by the desire to prove that he can be a captain. Look, I know Rishabh deep down wants to be captain, and that's not a bad ambition to have. But I just wonder if this great desire to be captain and get everything right is taking the little impishness, that little chulbulapan. What's the English translation for chulbulapan? Impishness?
Playfulness.
That's probably just taking
childlike excitement.
Yeah. Are you seeing that too, or am I trying to read too much with too little?
No, it is. It looks like that.
Yeah. And I think what I think, Harsha, is at times what I haven't enjoyed about Rishabh Pant is I feel he's become a little bit one-dimensional, and he's a so much better player than that. You know, he's almost at times taken the offside out of his game, and in the will and the want to score runs and to dominate, everything is being dragged leg side, and he's so much a better player. When I watched him score those Test match runs and things, he's just comfortable hitting the ball square of the wicket on the offside and through the covers and over long off or through long off. He doesn't have to invent shots, I don't think. And I find that he's inventing shots. And, you know, I mean, look, he's got an incredible role model in MS Dhoni in India. Is he trying too hard to be like that by saying, I need to captain, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do everything? I'm with you in a lot of what you said. I just think he's possibly over trying it rather than just being himself.
Look, he's probably got to realize that the great MS, for all his skills, extracted every bit of his batting ability out. Yeah. Whereas Rishabh is such a fabulous, naturally gifted batsman that he's just got it. MS, for all his great, I mean, MS extracted every bit of his batsmanship out of him because he was unorthodox. And he was a jabber and whatever, and he still became what a great limited overs and test match batsman he became. Rishabh is just overflowing with ability. And Dooley is right. For all you guys watching this, just go back. You can get it on YouTube. You can get it here. Just go back and look at his offside shots when he was playing test match cricket.
Absolutely.
And I don't for one second think that MS Dhoni would have any problem saying that he believes Rishabh Pant is more talented with the bat.
As a batsman, yes.
You know, I don't think he would have any problem saying that either. So, you know, it's not saying that he's a better player. Some people ooze that talent. Some people do. You look at some people and you just think, wow, he has got all the time in the world, all the ability in the world. And then you find some people who just graft harder than anyone else ever has grafted in the game, and they get every little bit out of their talent. So they're just varying, you know, degrees of player.
I'm just not liking the fact that I can't hear him behind the stumps, because that's one of the most entertaining parts of the cricket game, and we don't have him. Anyway, coming back to our game, and for the Knight Riders, the Omnigel relief and recovery performer of the match. Omnigel, India's #1 pain recovery gel brand. It's not only gives you a quick relief, but also recovery from pain. No dard for fans. Pat Cummins getting back into the team and getting back in style. There was that one over where he picked up 3 wickets, and he ended his 4 overs with 11 dots. So he really was. Dooley, you'd be happy to see, because he's not had a good tournament. He's got his buddy Josh Hazelwood in down in Bangalore, who's been having a good tournament,
Yeah.
but he wasn't. So he'd be happy to come back today and show that the faith that KKR put in him in the auction was not misplaced.
I think he's got 150 with the bat and 3 with the ball, I think, before today. So I think that's been part of his issue. Look, I still believe he's coming to terms with T20 bowling. I know people will say he's played a fair amount of T20 cricket, but I still, because what makes him such a great test bowler doesn't necessarily make him a great one day or 2020 bowler. He's a very different bowler, completely different to Josh Hazelwood, who's tall and can bang away on that length, that test match length, and hit the splice and get the bounce. When Pat Cummins bangs away on that test match length, it's almost in the hitting zone of a lot of these players, and that's what he's found. So tonight he was much better. I'm sure just those couple of games away has just done him the world of good, just to think about it, just to get back in the nets and get back to being, enjoying it again in Pat Cummins. And he's come out again tonight and proven it. Please.
I've got one. Yeah.
Yes.
I've got one Best Supporting Actor award.
Yes.
Best Supporting Actor award. वो हीरो का भाई होता है ना, in the hero's brother in the movies.
Yeah.
He gets 2-3 scenes, but in those 2-3 scenes, he says, I can play. My supporting actor is Rinku Singh.
Oh, yeah.
What a catch he took. That catch he took.
Yeah.
That catch was brilliant. Then that direct hit run out and hit a 6 in the 19th over. So he's there, he's getting my Best Supporting Actor award.
Yeah, we'd give it to him for sure. And that smile as well. We're happy to see that smile. But, Pat Cummins, our Omni-Gel relief and recovery performer of the match. He ensured that there was no dud for KKR fans because they've had enough pain in this tournament. Now, remember what this big loss has done, or rather the big win has done for the Knight Riders. Look at their net run rate now, because their net run rate had suffered, especially after their previous game. So now, just by the skin of their teeth, they are ahead. Now, bear in mind that Punjab and Chennai have a game in hand, right? So if Punjab wins, right, and so they go ahead on points, and if Chennai wins their game, they're ahead on net run rate. So the Knight Riders could very well just see themselves on number 9 pretty soon, right? So joy could be short-lived, but you never know. The other teams have to come out and play. That's ifs and buts. The fact is that the Knight Riders have got these points, and here they are. They've won 5 now, and they've lost 7. They'll look back at this tournament and say, I don't know what we did. We were just so haphazard. We won 5 games. They really had a squad where we were thinking they were one of the top contenders. They really were. So for them to be kind of down there, it kind of pinches. And for Mumbai, of course, it's like one of those, you just say, it's the kind of day, Dooley, we've all had that kind of day where you just say, I just need to go to bed and forget this day ever happened.
Yeah, they've just it started at the auction. We've talked about it, and it's just continued on. The one thing, and I mentioned earlier about this league, there is no promotion relegation, and all the teams will end up, courtesy of the television rights, making the same money. You just get a little bit more if you win and you lose. The one thing you don't tend to see very often from a Man City, a Liverpool, a United aren't having a great year, a Chelsea, you don't see them finish in the bottom end of the table.
Yeah,
they still find a way. They still find a way. But that's the tough nature of this competition. And I think when we look at these teams across the board, we wondered at times whether, even prior to the auction, whether 2 new teams would dilute the talent a little bit more. It has just unearthed more and more talent, and teams have got stronger. And people that we hadn't known a lot about, people that some domestic talent and domestic, cricketers and domestic commentators and people who watch a lot of it would have known about, but we weren't sure about, or they perhaps weren't sure they could compete at this level. They have been unearthed. The Tilak Varmas, the Mohsin Khans, the Umran Maliks, obviously we saw a glimpse of him last year. Ayush Badoni. I could go on. There's a whole raft of these players, Simajit and Chaudhary from Chennai. There are so many players that are stepping up, and the level is so good that there's just more and more talent coming through. So a team like Mumbai, who have been brilliant, are having a bad year. I mean, they can come back. There's no reason why they won't come back. It's just telling me how good and how tough and how much on your game you have to be day in, day out to compete in this competition.
Let's expand on that Dooley point a little further. Look at every team. There's Khalil Ahmed, there's Kuldeep Sen, there's Mohsin Khan, there's Mukesh Chaudhary. Each of these franchises has unearthed an Indian fast bowler that is making their first 11 and doing a good job.
Yeah.
If Mumbai had that Indian doing that, they could have got over playing Timal Mills, who had a bad year, and maybe beefed up some other part of their cricket. Now, they didn't have that bowler. They were very disappointed that they lost that Arshad Khan, whom they were very bullish about. But otherwise, they had Jaydev Unadkat, who I still think can come back as the tracks get slower, but there's only a couple of games left now. Basil Thampi. But really look at the Indian bowler around there, that big Indian bowler who's broken through in almost every franchise.
They've got one there, Harsh, but they just haven't played him. He's got one of the greatest names in Indian cricket, and they just haven't unearthed him. Why?
Maybe get a game at the end.
Oh, Arjun.
Get a token game. Arjun.
Yeah.
He might be their saviour. You never know. But I hope he gets a game. I hope he gets a game now.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. We don't know. We didn't know about Mukesh Chaudhary. We didn't know about, as you said, Kuldeep Sen. I mean, Rohan Gavaskar told me about this Kuldeep Sen as he was warming up. Remember, in a very early game at DY Patil Stadium, he was very close to coming on the field as a concussion substitute. Someone got hit, and I'm trying to remember who it was. It was in the first or the second game for Rajasthan, and someone got hit. And I was working on that game, and Rohan said, just have a look at this bloke warming up. He could come on as the concussion substitute, and he has got wheels. He's quick. He said, I've just seen a glimpse of him at domestic cricket, and all the talk is about how quick he is. And those are the little things, just the little nuggets of gold that you get every now and then. But it took them a little while to unleash him. And when they did, we found out how good he could be.
I find him among the most impressive young bowlers, Kuldeep Sen. I really like Kuldeep Sen.
Yeah.
So I think that is where, just to come back to Mumbai, I think that is where they struggled a little bit. And I can promise you their scouts will be up and touring everywhere to get 3 young fast bowlers for next year.
Yeah.
They've done it before. Their scouts have done this job before, and they have been quite a feeder system for Indian cricket. So they might just do it again. But right now, we move, which is today, from number 9 and 10 on the table. And that's very, rare that happens with these 2 teams. But they were. And we've got 2 new teams who are 1 and 2 who are playing tomorrow. So you just literally turned the tables. And Lucknow and Gujarat are playing tomorrow, match 57. That's down the road from DY Patil, just a little down the road. In Pune, they're playing 1 and 2. It's so exciting. I love it. Isn't it, Harsha? It's amazing that the 2 new teams are 1 and 2. I love that story. I love it.
I'm just starting to wonder if someone can analyze it a little deeper, whether having a full complement of players to choose from and having a bigger budget to choose from has actually helped these teams structure from scratch. But that's not the story for tomorrow. The story for tomorrow is, wow, I still think LSG have put together a better balanced squad, and that Gujarat Titans have played out of their skins. I mean, nobody who looked at that Gujarat Titans squad would say they'd finish in the top 2. And all credit to them. With that squad to finish where they are, they're doing a lot of things right. But I just think LSG are a better structured side. Now, what do they do with their batting? If the batting starts to struggle, they really want Shubman Gill to come back and score more. Riddhiman Saha has been a big plus. Sai Sudarshan got some runs the other day. But I still think they would ideally like Hardik Pandya to bowl and bat at 5. That's when you're getting the most out of him. Not bowl and bat 3 and 4 is like getting about 60% of him. But if he's batting at 5, can you imagine if they can find a way to have him at 5, Miller 6, Tewatia 7, then no target is enough.
Yeah, but then you need Hardik the bowler, because otherwise, otherwise
that has now had more conversations than India's number 4.
Yeah, fair enough. It's close. But you're also not getting overs from Tewatia, actually, right? I mean,
at the moment they're not bowling. I don't know how he's bowled less than 6 overs in the tournament. Surely,
no, I think he's bowled about 8. I think in the tournament. But that's it. It's single digits. It's single digits.
So they're not getting overs out of him. They haven't really used him. Look, if Hardik became fit again in the last week and a half of the tournament, then it does change the dynamic of their side. They could possibly then leave Pradeep Sangwan out and bring Abhinav Manohar, I think it is, probably back
Correct.
in. Harsha, would that be right? There'd be
Exactly.
yes,
Exactly
Sangwan
what I had
out,
in mind.
Manohar back in, and then it just makes your batting just that little bit deeper. It leaves Tewatia 7, Rashid 8. And it just makes it look a little bit better, I think, just in case you get into trouble. But I mean, we talked about this the other night. I think, Harsha, you and I were on, and I mean, Shubman's the key, isn't he? Look, he's got to find a way to get runs. If he can start getting runs, then they look more of a dangerous side. If he continues this poor run, I don't know. Look, he's brilliant. He can get the best out of himself, Wriddhiman Saha, but can he just continue to do that job, up top without help?
Harsha, but really, I mean, you get Hardik at 5. You're saying Miller at 6, Tewatia at 7, Rashid at 8. Yeah, then I think the criticism could also be there then, because then you're looking at the fifth bowler as Hardik and Tewatia and a mix of the two of them.
Correct.
But then you also somewhere just feel that, Tewatia at 7, Miller at 6. Are you just leaving them too late? Could be that criticism
No,
as well,
and
couldn't it?
no. Then if you lose wickets early, if you have a partnership built up, then Abhinav Manohar, who's your floater, goes down, and everybody goes up.
There you go.
So he's there as the as a sort of circuit breaker.
Great answer.
He'll come in early if required.
Super.
So
Yeah.
that's the way I'm looking at it. If Hardik and Tewatia between them can give you 4 overs, then you've got that slightly deeper batting side.
Oh, super. That does sound like a decent solution. They have lost 3 on the trot, and the last one, they'll be upset with that because there was just that air of don't worry, we're going to do it. But it's different from projecting don't worry, we'll do it. But when you start believing that to the point that you don't do it, that's complacency, which is what kind of looked like last time. So they'll want to shake that off. Lucknow, meanwhile, is just on this roll. Yeah, they're on a roll. They're a juggernaut. They're a machine. They're a winning machine. They're a winning machine. They're a giant winning machine.
Yeah, this to me is quite possibly one of the best bowling attacks in the competition. And when I talk bowling, the quick bowling on show here now with Mohsin Khan, who, again, we didn't know a huge amount about, but he has been probably the most impressive, going at just over 5.35 per over. And then Dushmantha Chamira, who I absolutely love, and Avish Khan, who I've got an enormous amount of time for as well. Their one issue is probably Bishnoi hasn't quite been at his best.
Yeah.
Their spinner. They've got Bishnoi, Krunal, Holder, Stoinis.
But because they've got so many
bowlers as well.
Exactly. Because they've got so many bowlers, it's getting covered.
Yeah, but they're all rounders who can all bat really well. Also, Harsha. So they can bat to 8, and they've got 7 genuine bowling options.
Yeah,
and we're not even counting Ayush Badoni, who bowls off spin. But he won't be needed in this side. I mean, Marcus Stoinis has bowled 3-4 overs only, and he's perfectly capable of giving you 2-3 overs every single day. For Australia, he bowls 3-4 overs sometimes. But their whole philosophy was built on having all-rounders. So now that we've talked about the bowlers, you put that side up again and see how deep they bat. And the other day, I mean, I think they're batting Stoinis far too deep. But the moment Deepak Hooda has gone up to 3, that's one problem solved for them. It's allowing KL Rahul to play freely. So Rahul, Quinton de Kock, Deepak Hooda. I think Marcus Stoinis can bat at 4. Then they got Krunal Pandya, Jason Holder, Ayush Badoni. So they're batting till 7. Chamira can swing his bat at 8. Bishnoi can handle himself at 9. So they're batting pretty deep, and they've got proper pace. They've got 3 bowlers with proper pace plus Holder. I think it's a very well-structured side.
Yeah. And they're a confident side as well now. So you don't see any changes happening there. Let's pull that squad up again. Is there any player there who we've kind of missed because they've been playing this 11? There was, motion came for Avesh, and then Krishnappa Gautam has come in and out in a couple of games. But otherwise, this looks...
Evan Lewis has won them a game. Evan Lewis won them a game before Stoinis came against CSK.
True, he did. So, this looks just fine. I don't think they have anything to worry about. Let's have a look at the points table. And so you can also understand why they have nothing to worry about, because there they are. Look up. They're at 16. Gujarat's at 16. But the net run rate, that's the real impressive story there as well. That they've got the wins, but they've got some comprehensive wins, which means they are just head and shoulders above everybody else when it comes to net run rate. This is going to be a solid game.
Those four are the best bowling sides. I mean, Hyderabad's got a decent bowling side, but they've had to make changes. But Rajasthan this year entirely on the. I mean, they've got good batting, no doubt, with Samson and Hetmar and Butler. But you look at those four sides, and those are the bowling sides of the tournament in a sense. I'm very impressed with Bangalore. I'm tipping Lucknow and Bangalore to go the distance. But let's see. That's for another program.
That's your 1 and 2, is it? Lucknow and Bangalore? I'm telling you, Bangalore's going to lift the trophy this year. They've got Karan Sharma. You guys laugh about it, but I'm telling you, he's the good luck charm.
Look, if that happens, I'm telling you, Karan Sharma's in every squad till he's 50 years old.
Well, that's
is he not 50? Is he not 50 already?
No, he's getting a blank check in the next tournament. He's getting a blank check. If he can be with 4 different teams and on the winning side, he's getting a blank check. All right.
But on the flip side of it, he's never won 2 with the same side. So once he gives you 1, you
then Punjab will be buying him.
Or Delhi.
Or Delhi. Yeah,
or Delhi.
Trade him. He becomes the most valuable traded commodity. All right, let's have a look at our joy factor question and answer. We were all a little confused about what that would be. I won't be confused no more because the answer's coming up. Which player who has once scored a century in this tournament broke an English county record jointly held by 2 former Mumbai players? I didn't even understand the question. Leave alone the answer. There you go.
So I knew the answer was Ben Stokes. I told you I was trying to figure out why the answer could be Ben Stokes. Because Ben Stokes just scored 117 sixes. Just a couple of, and he hit 34 in an over. I actually thought it was to do with 34.
Yeah.
But yeah, Graham Napier did come and play was in the squad for a couple of seasons at Mumbai Indians. So good call. Very good question.
I don't know who has answered this. Yeah, let's have a look. Dude, just to decode that question and to get the correct answer. Manan Mehta, congratulations. I think I've seen this name before. Obviously, one of the hardcore cricket nerds. Well done. You're the man, Manan. Well done. Good job, Cricket Nuffy. That was the correct answer. We got a lot of correct answers, in fact, which just makes me think that the people watching
Pune. Day off tomorrow? Yeah. I think Harsh is with you.
I'm here.
who's our third friend tomorrow?
Look, I'm not a dooley. You know, I don't get these days off. I have people like me who work hard for a living.
See, that's why dooley.
The hardest working man. He is the hardest working man in India.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah.
I know that.
That's why he loses count of the notes, right? After.
That's it.
You reach 250 and what was that again? Oh, let's start all over. I think, sir, you should just hire me there to count the notes for you. I don't do bio bubbles, but willing to help out a friend. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There you go. That's all we have time for.
You know those character actors in the movie who appear in 120 movies and make 1/10 the hero does in one movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Do you remember Different Strokes? The show?
Yes, I do.
Remember? What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis? All right, this has been fun. Listen, I told all of you watching before this game began that it may be night show. I'll in my pocket. We're going to see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. We're very happy that we're getting to go before midnight. Going before? Oh, that's because Mumbai exploded. All right, good. Imploded. Yeah. All right. Both.
Imploded.
Right.
Make up your mind whether they imploded or exploded.
It was a bit of both, I think. It was a combination of both. It was an implosion that was so, as you said, was so loud and glorious that it looked like an explosion. There you go. Just learning some new science here, all you kids, yeah? Be sure to subscribe to GK Plus because that's where you get some nice life and science lessons. All right. Big thank you to Harsha Bhogle and Simon Doull. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for keeping it strong while I had a power cut. And I'm gonna go. Just gonna switch. Let me just switch the light off again, so we can just recreate that whole thing. All right.
Let there be light. There is darkness everywhere.